can we just think a little bit about what is urgent and what is important? Okay. Urgent matters are mostly visible. You are doing something very urgent. If people are asking you to do something, you say, no, I don't have time. I'm very busy, very busy. I have this much of tasks to do, so please don't disturb. So people think, oh, this guy is really wonderful guy because he's always doing something very urgent. He's most sought after person. Maybe he is the only one heroic person in his office or in his organization, in his family. So it looks to be fun to do such things. You may be very popular with other people if you are always being urgent, but your own conscience tells you, and the results you are creating, they show to you that most of the times you are doing unimportant things. It doesn't mean that every time urgent matters are not important, but many times the urgent things need not be that important. On the other hand, important matters are actually dealing with results. For example, if you are seeing someone in your office, if you are seeing someone in your maybe friend circle, he's always getting the good results, but he's not always showing off that urgency. He's not in that urgency mood, he or she. They're always doing their things properly without so much of bells and whistles, just doing their task in a simplified manner, and still they're getting the results. Understand that they are actually doing things with a proper planning. So important matters are those things where they are giving you the results. They are not showing off as urgent things, but they're actually giving you the results. That we need to understand. So for these important things, you need initiative. You need to relate them to the mission. You need to relate them to your values and goals. Need not always link that important things with urgency. So we can also look at what will happen if you spend most of your time in any of these 4 quadrants. Let us say what happens in Q1. You are doing most part of your time in Q1, not even thinking about Q2, Q3 and Q4. You are only doing everything important, everything urgent. What will happen to you? What are the results if you are spending your time mostly in Q1 quadrant? You have stress because Q1 are also important things and also urgent things. Maybe you delayed certain things. They all piled up so much that you need to complete everything within no time. So because they are important, you cannot avoid them. And because there is no time, you are stressed, you have anxiety, you may lose out your health, you have burnout in your mind, you feel already, too much fatigue, too much like firefighting. So that's one problem with this kind of arrangement. Okay. Then you also have got crisis management every time. You are always putting out fire. You try to put out fire at one location, you are finding fire at some other location, whether at home, whether at office or in the society. This is the problem. So Q1, it's important, but if Q1 is occupying most of your time, then you are losing out. Let us come to Q3 first, because again, we are talking from Q1, which is urgent and important. We are coming to Q3, which is urgent but not important. What will happen if you work more in Q3? Short-term focus, because you don't know why you are doing this. It's just urgent, you are doing it. Crisis again, maybe some crisis not related to you, but related to your manager, related to your organization or your family. And mostly your reputation will be like a chameleon character. Your reputation also will be like a chameleon character because you don't know why you are doing. You are just doing it for the sake of showing off. You don't even think that goals and plans are useful to you. You think they're useless because you are enjoying being urgent. You are enjoying being busy. So you are always busy being busy. Finally worthless. You are worthless, but you think that the planning and goal setting is worthless. So that's the funny thing here. So, but at the same time, what happens? Sometimes you are not getting the results because you are not doing the important things. So you feel victimized. You think, okay, I'm always doing a lot of things, but why I am not getting my results? I don't know why my life is out of control. I'm always working for the sake of my boss or for the sake of my maybe my family, my wife, my husband. Still, I see that my relationships are broken. Relationships at office, relationships at home. These are all broken. Why? Because the same. These are unimportant things. And when you are spending your time more in Q3, you are not even following principle-centered thinking. Then how come you are getting good results here? Impossible. isn't it? If you are spending your time in Q3 and Q4, mix it together. What happens? You are doing certain things which are urgent but unimportant. You are doing certain other things which are not urgent, not even important. You are happily spending a total time in Q3 and Q4, and this Q3 and Q4 are notoriously for unimportant things. Now what will happen to your life? Total irresponsibility. If people are like this in the office, they are the first people to get fired in the company. And for any of their tasks, they will be depending on others. Even if they have to do their own task in the office, they need someone else's support. For them to take any decision, they need someone else to support them. At least if not on the others, then they depend on the basics given by some other institutions. Let us say government has to give them some food, government has to give them some food grains or maybe sugar, kerosene, whatever. I'm not commenting in any case on poverty or anybody. If people are really downtrodden for many generations, people may not have the access to a lot of resources for improving their life. To such small section of the people, yes, we need to have sympathy and we should not comment on their situation. But for most of us who still have the access to improve ourselves, but if we don't improve, if we live in this Q3 and Q4, what will happen is this, because these are not my words, these are the things coming from research made by great authors who worked on this subject, and they are actually giving out these conclusions that if you are spending most of your time in Q3 and Q4, you are always leading your life with total irresponsibility. You are fired from the jobs before other people in your office or from your organization. You are always dependent on others, and you are also dependent on other institutions, even for your basic needs like food, shelter, and clothing. So is this the right way to live at all? No, because this is nothing better than living like an animal here, isn't it? So effective people will never stay in Q3 and Q4. Yes, maybe a fraction, a minuscule time, probably in Q3, but never in Q4. Please remember this. Now let's come back to the very important one. If finally you make up your mind now, because you learned the habit number 1, habit number 2, and you now think that you are the leader, you now understand, and you know that you make your mental creation first before you go into the outside world and start to manifest your dreams into realities. This is where you start. So you made up your mind that you need to achieve these things in your real life, and this is where you start, in the Q2, because you are working on your vision. You are getting the perspective based on principles. You are achieving balance between your results, production, and the production capability, which is your ability to get the results. So your results and your ability to get the results, P and PC. You are trying to make the balance between these two. Balance in everything for that matter. Balance in your personal life and happiness, balance in your professional work ethics, professional achievements, your name and fame, your reputation. Then again, you get discipline because you know that you have to achieve a lot of the important things. You plan your day with only few things, focused, and you know what you have to do. You don't do 100 other things. You do maybe 5 or 10 things. So then you can have discipline, isn't it? If you put 100 things to do on a single day, do you have discipline? Will you have discipline? You want to do 100 things in a day. You have got only 24 hours, in which 8 hours you are spending sleeping, 2 hours you are spending to get ready. So almost 10 hours are gone. You have got only 14 hours. Then in that 14 hours, if you are working, you are spending 8 to 10 hours in the office. So you have got 4 hours in a day. So whatever goals you are achieving in the office or in your organization, you still have 4 hours in your personal life on a normal day. So are you going to achieve these 100 things if you put? But if you really think about this Q2, not urgent, but important, you will only have maybe fixed number of goals, maybe very limited amount of goals, but very, very important ones. So with that, you will have discipline automatically because you are not doing too many things. You are only doing focus at few things. So you will have time to build your relationships because you know that as a leader, you cannot avoid people. You need to be with people, inspire yourself, inspire your other people in your family, in your office, everywhere. So you can have long-term planning and you pinpointedly choose what task to pick, what task to do. Like how the eagle picks up its prey right from the sky. You know that with your overall vision of the life, with all the principle-centered thinking in your mind, you know what goals to pick, what goals to pursue, not each and everything that is coming to your way. By doing all these things, what happens? You still will have some crisis sometimes, but very, very few. Whereas if you are working in Q1, you are always doing or living your life in crisis. You have maybe all sorts of health problems. But here, you have got crises, very few ones. And even if you are getting some crisis, it's a genuine crisis. Maybe the situation is demanding. Maybe your larger goal is driving you to solve some crisis. So that's the important thing to understand, that you need to be a Q2 manager in your life. Even if you are an efficient leader, as a manager, you must be the quadrant 2 manager. So the effective people always try to stay in the second quadrant. They are always doing the things which are not urgent but important. Thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. See you in the next video.